How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Pixelated Thoughts, and on today's episode, we are going to talk about the Fallout TV series. Everyone here has watched the show, and it's kind of an interesting dichotomy because Brad and I have played almost every game in the Fallout series. We're actually fans of the game. We're replaying through Fallout 76. Well, Brad is. I'm starting it up. And Chibi and Jack have played none, right?
Played a little bit of 76.
Right. So, relatively new to the Fallout universe. That's fine. But this is one of the most anticipated adaptations for video games. And that was fucking pretty good, honestly. Very impressed.
It was.
Let's start with...
Probably the best one I've ever seen.
Ever? I was gonna...
Yeah.
Double Dragon was fantastic. What the fuck is wrong with you?
You not watch the Street Fighter movie?
I know, dude. Jean-Claude Van Damme? Flash kick? What do we do?
Tekken movie?
The Tekken movie? Oh, God. I forgot that existed. That was awful. Holy shit. House of the Dead with, Yui Bowl? That was not great either. Postal?
Doom?
Oh,
again.
Come on, dude.
Proving what
Doom had like one 5-minute scene that was amazing. It was pretty much like the first person mode. And then after that, it was just ass. The Rock had that awful special effects, the makeup on his face and stuff like that. Semper Fi, motherfucker. I was like, oh my God. Every Marine in the theater was like, oh, talk about me. But let's start with Chibi. Chibi, what did you think of the show?
I liked it a lot. No,
Yeah.
I really did. I really thought the whole concept was really neat because I kind of went in just knowing a little bit. Brad, by the way, I didn't know, but you kind of spoiled it for me when you said experiments, because you necessarily don't find out until the end.
Well, that's
But you
it's a
can
known thing
infer.
in the games. It's
Yeah.
a very common. Yeah, my bad. That
No, you're fine. I didn't give a shit. I
Oh,
was telling
there.
I was telling Michael because he went and watched it with us, and he's like, "Friend told you what?" And I was like, But I mean, it was one of those things where, honestly, I think probably halfway, maybe less, I would have guessed it anyway. There was a lot of stuff that I guessed that he's like, shit, you know this? I was like, no, but there's a lot of good context clues, But I thought a lot of stuff was subtle. For some reason, it took me a little bit to understand that the cowboy was the ghoul. For some reason, it took me a little bit longer than necessary. I don't know. I just did not make that connection. I was like, wait a minute.
When did you find out?
With the makeup and the voices sounding the same. Who is this mysterious stranger?
It wasn't, I think, until the end of the episode when
okay.
the
first episode.
It wasn't yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say,
I was just
if you took you episode 5 of like Chibi, we gotta talk to you.
No. It was the end of episode 1, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is the ghoul cowboy? And they just looked at me like, are you serious? And I was like,
You're like, oh my God, it's the same actor.
But then I had so many questions. I was like, I need to know his backstory. I need to know this.
At least you weren't like, oh my God, twins.
No, let me just say, my prediction for season 2, his wife is the mastermind. Because I mean, you see homeboy. I'm really bad with names. You guys know this. The main girl's dad, going into that new city.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I feel like the cowboy's wife is there.
Oh, New Vegas. Me and Brad.
I don't know.
Me and Brad will probably
have
New
Vegas.
Yeah, that's New Vegas. Me and Brad will probably have theories about that too. There's a lot, dude. The Fallout community is fucking losing their mind.
Really?
It's insane.
You think his daughter's gonna be normal or an experiment?
I'm curious what happened to her too. They don't
so,
have any context.
So it's kind of
separated.
It's kind of weird because when you see the bombs drop and they're escaping on the horseback, I don't know if they made it into the vault or if they got to the vault. Let's say she was allowed in because she's the daughter of a Vault Tech employee, an executive, and then he wasn't because they got divorced.
Because they're divorced.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't put that together. I was like, guys, they divorced. They're broken up.
Yeah, I was like, they literally said in the first episode alimony, and I was like,
but it doesn't carry over with some people. When they get to episode 8, I've seen some really stupid fucking takes on the Fallout TV series. They just didn't pay attention. Yeah. They're like, what if Betty, who's in Vault 31, she's one of the overseers. What if she's Barb, the wife? I was like, no, what the fuck?
What?
How did you?
Okay.
Did they not see her in the episode?
It's like, brother, shut the fuck up.
You'd be dead.
Sit there.
Long time ago.
Sit down.
Sit down. It's been 200 years.
Jack, what'd you think about this show, man?
I loved it. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. The pace was good. I usually don't like it when they bounce between characters
Yeah,
and
multiple
stories, but
POVs. Yeah.
Really, I love
it
that.
actually made a lot of sense the way they did it. I wasn't confused at all about it. And I think they did really good with picking the actors and actresses for all
Mhm.
these.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan
all
of
these
Walton
roles.
Goggins. He's the ghoul.
Yeah.
If you don't know who he is, he played in Justified. He's Boyd Crowder. It's like his first, like one of the first sizable roles. He was in The
Wait,
Shield.
How did you say his name?
Walton Goggins. That's how his name's said. Yeah, that's Walton.
Oh, he
Goggins.
said Walton.
No, it's literally Walton Goggins too.
Okay.
Walton.
But yeah, he was in The Shield. He was in Justified. He was in The Righteous Gemstones as Baby Billy, which is fucking awesome.
In The Big Bang Theory.
Yes, he was. He was in it for like a episode. He was in Vice Principals with Dan McBride. Fucking, he was amazing in that. That I'm so sad that only had 2 seasons, dude. That was such a great show. And his star is like risen recently for a lot of like good reasons. But yeah, Lucy, she's great. I really don't know, like Maximus. I've never seen that actor before in anything.
I've never seen him either, but he did pretty good with that.
But
role.
he's supposed to play like a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, right? He's like 35.
He looks old. Yeah, he looks old.
Yeah, I think, and we'll talk about the characters, but yeah, I think shit, that Kyle MacLachlan, he played the father. For those who don't know, he also played the original Duke Atreides in Dune, in the first Dune. He was the main character. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, he's aged well, you know? Good actor. Holy fuck, they had a bunch of people, dude. They had a bunch of they had Matt Berry was in it, and he played his buddy Codsworth, dude. They need to make a mod where he like voices Codsworth in Fallout 4. I would fucking love that.
That'd be cool.
I think who else was it?
He actually had 3 different parts in the actual show.
Was did he really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was the
He had
actor Codsworth. Who else?
He was like a character. He was only in 1 episode. 6.
Oh no, yeah, I know he was the physical character, but you said 3 roles, so like
Yeah, 'cause
Codsworth.
that's where they got his voice.
Yeah, Codsworth, his own character. Like, who was the third one? What was the third piece? Do not lie to me, Brad.
I was just looking at the credit.
This man's full of shit.
What's the actor's name again?
That's Walton Goggins.
Matt Berry.
It's Walton Goggins, Brad.
Matt
That's it, Walton.
I know, I was like, what?
I love how you.
like,
I said
there's
it so
no way.
confidently, you guys.
But you are so knowledgeable, so I was like, oh,
Dude,
I was googling how to pronounce
I
it.
watched the shit out of Justified. I've seen that show like 8 times. It's like when
So he was Sebastian Leslie.
Right.
Snip Snip.
That's right. Okay. Yep. Okay, you're right. Damn.
I love Snip Snip.
Also love Matt Berry.
Matt
He's
Berry's
one of my favorites.
amazing. What We Do in the Shadows, fucking Laszlo.
IT crowd.
IT crowd, dude. Dude, what do you do with the IT crowd? He's in the church. It's like that. Father. All right, Brad. What did you?
Nobody's ever watched that. You got to watch IT.
IT crowd's so good, dude.
It's funny as hell.
Has some amazing fucking like lines and sequences. I love. It's weird because like British TV shows always had like their seasons are what, like 2 to 3 episodes, 2 to 3. It's like, what the fuck? We can extend these out to like 10 to 15, man. Brad, as a fan of Fallout, how did you feel about the TV series?
I was kind of disappointed.
Not enough fucking stim packs, bro. What are we doing?
No, they didn't allow you to create the main character. I was like, what the heck?
Oh.
Like, this is the first Fallout that doesn't allow you to do that. No, I thought it was great. Actually, there was a lot of. I'm not going to say comparisons to the game because it literally is the game. I mean, I feel like they did a really good job of actually just portraying what the games were. I even liked a lot of the combat sequences where like the first one with the ghoul.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Those are good.
Even the combat, like there was like an element of VATS to it, right? Just the way some of the sequences, it was almost like you were activating your VATS and like you were following the bullets and blowing the limbs off of things. There was just a lot of little details here and there. The one thing that I was not 100% sold on, and honestly, I don't know how they make it better, but it's the power armor just looks really
styrofoamy.
Yeah, it just looks very. It does not look like a really heavy piece of machinery that you wear. But once again, I think that's just I don't know how you make that look.
I think you just have to dull it a little bit because like it's weird because it's pre-war. It's pre-war. Yeah, exactly. It's pre-war tech, so it should look worn down. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. Because if you're, I was like, why does that look so bright and so well made? Because almost the Brotherhood of Steel, their entire thing is like taking pre-war technology and preserving it. They're a cult. Okay, that's basically what they are. And so the fact that you have so many good metal workers is kind of weird, even though like you follow the design, but I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of like refined processes there, so a lot of that stuff should look a little beat up. But the show as a whole, I think was fucking great. I do think that like one of the things I was not a big fan of is that sometimes it like felt like the overarching plot kind of got lost about like certain things that were happening because like the middle episodes were just kind of like just following your own adventure. They felt somewhat disconnected at times until you got
agree.
like certain things weren't answered.
Like when they got to the research center.
Yeah. Like certain things really weren't answered. Like some questions were posed in episodes 1 and 2, but weren't answered until like the very end, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Because most of it was fun. But last week, before we got cut off, I asked a question about, how certain shows couldn't be like weekly, or and some could be like binged. I feel like Fallout is practically the perfect binged opportunity because if you had this weekly, I think some of the middle episodes would probably like kind of come off as very disconnected. And like sometimes when you have like weekly episodes, a lot of speculation comes up about like what's happening, like okay, this is going to go down, but most of the time it was just like random kind of events, just adventures and stuff that they were doing, and then you eventually got that final connected plot near the end. So that I think like this is like the perfect bingeable show, and the only reason I brought it is because like everyone kept talking about it, like what about why would Fallout get binged? I'm like, well, there's reasons for it, right? This is the type of content that's perfect for it. I think like in terms of like characters, the Ghoul, Lucy, Maximus, Norm, the little brother. I liked how they had like, you had 3 main protagonists and you had like that like minor. And I don't even think he was minor because if you're new to the Fallout universe, Vault Tech, it's crazy because like the things that people have speculated on and discovered like throughout the years, throughout all the Fallout games, was that Vault Tech was potentially behind the bombings and that every vault was pretty much made to be an experiment except for some of the control vaults in which executives got to live in. And they answered that directly here. And what's interesting is that Vault 31 and 31 through 33, they're not mentioned, right? As are like a number of things. But they actually bring up the fact that like you had like a control vault for 31 because it's basically where all the Vault-Tec executives are. And then they had 31 and 32 as like just kind of normal lives because
32, 33.
Yeah, 32, 33. But like you saw like how immediately when they transitioned to another vault, like Lucy was all enthusiastic, but fucking Max was like, it's a cult. This is fucking crazy. We're gonna die here. That's generally how every player feels when they enter into a vault, because when you go through like the different logs, you find out that like they were conducting the craziest fucking experiments on people. So the cruelest one is like Vault 11, I think. So basically what they were doing was that they were taking all of these people, and then every year you had to sacrifice somebody. And if you didn't sacrifice them, like essentially every year, like everyone would die. So
isn't that like an Edgar Allan Poe story?
Basically, but what happened was that like they were fucking like doing it, and then they got down to like the last 5, and they said, we're not fucking doing this, because people were using that reason to sacrifice individuals to vote them as overseers so that they could eventually die. So what happened when the last 5 got there, they're like, we're not doing this shit anymore. And then when they stopped doing it, they received a notification from Vault-Tec saying, hey, you guys are the shining example of society. You didn't have to sacrifice anyone. Congratulations. And they opened the vault door.
What the fuck?
So they made those people kill each other. So
that's insane.
There's a bunch of like super cruel experience. Like they would like only have children. Like they would take the parents, kill the parents, and then have the children, and then like fucking try to like inject them and do gene therapy to create super mutants and stuff like that. It's called the forced evolution virus. Oh, dude, it's awful. It's a fucking mess. Like they nailed all of that in the show.
Yeah.
What's that vault that Maximus and Lucy ended up in?
Is it 4?
I think it was
something like that, but that gave me Midsummer vibes.
Dude, what was so funny was that like they had I can't remember the actor's name, but he was on SNL, and he also is the guy with one eye. He was on SNL.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah.
also the voice actor for Archer and stuff like that. Like he's on the character.
Mm.
And he had like that funny scene to death outside. He's like trying to break it with a sword. He's like, all right, so here's 2 weeks of supplies, but after that, you're done.
And she's like,
thank you,
and
I
then
guess.
fucking
And they
Maximus
said
just tossed
trying
it
to cut
in.
the rope.
And
Max-
then she's staring at him like,
I love when Maximus is beating people's ass. She's like, stop, they helped us. Like, someone check on that guy. My bad. But no, that's essentially what they were doing. Like, it was, they ran experiments and it was just a one big cruel thing. And then the show reveals that Vault-Tec did drop the bombs in coordination with the other companies, which I loved, which I thought was like, they finally fucking told everyone so everyone can stop speculating.
So was that speculation this whole time throughout the games?
Yeah.
Holy
because
shit.
because here's the thing, like it's the 2090s, right? And we're in war with China. There was like the battle for Anchorage, Alaska, and then apparently they were gearing up for stuff. So there's all these conversations, but then they dropped that information. I think in the first episode, he's like, "Hey, we can't find the president." Like even though like we're trying to peace negotiations are ongoing, but the president's like missing. Yeah. So they were like, "Oh fuck, what's happening?" And then the bombs dropped. That's essentially what happened. So they set up the vaults in all these different areas, and then those who couldn't get into a vault were probably kind of lucky, honestly, because if you weren't in the area of like a nuclear blast, like you just kind of trying to survive and live out and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't. It was like there was probably like one awkward scene. Jack brought it up to me, dude. The turret scene.
Oh yeah, that's the worst turret I've ever fucking
that
seen
was
in my life.
my favorite thing ever. I was like, first off, that actor, by the way, that dude is amazing.
When the scientist
is
running
Michael,
away.
What's his name? I know him from a lot of shows.
Michael Emerson.
Yeah, he's fantastic. It's just really funny because he's not even like running; he's like walking.
Yeah, no, you're so right. I was like, is this stormtrooper shooting? I was like, that's what this feels like.
I mean, I don't know because it's crazy because those turrets are in the game and they're very accurate.
Yeah, and they're accurate. That's what Michael said.
Nuke people. So to miss him that badly was pretty interesting. But it's also interesting because where he's coming from is the Enclave, which is essentially the new United States. And they show a lot of cool shit in there too, like how like pretty much they were breeding canines. They were also working on super mutants. Yeah, they're working on super mutants and stuff like that. The other thing they didn't talk about a lot was like when they brought up the stuff about the ghouls. So there's always been like questions about how ghouls survive for that long without going feral. And then we kind of get like an answer, like the person was subjected to jet, which was really awesome. Also, anyone here watch Forrest Gump? Anybody?
Bubba.
Yeah, that was Bubba.
That man did not age.
No, he didn't.
That man did not
age. That was Bubba Gump, bro. He's also
that was Bubba Gump.
What was great is that they actually have those two. He's actually a main featured villain in Justified too.
Oh, really?
So him and Walton are actually in Justified together, and they were pretty contentious. It's fucking. I was like excited. I was like, oh shit! It's like, well, he's in it for 5 minutes. I was like, nah.
Yeah, it still was good. But I literally was like, this man looks the same like he was in fucking Forrest Gump.
Dude, crazy. That man,
insane.
I remember he was like in one of the Purges too, and I was like, then he kind of looked older. I don't know what happened here. His power makeup, but yeah, anything that they speculated in the game pretty much came to fruition in the show. And I think like the VFX stuff was great. I'm trying to think like if there's anything.
Well, then that's the thing. I think that's why it succeeded very well. Is because I was reading that they didn't spend a lot on CGI.
Yeah,
like a lot of it was made.
Oh man, have you seen some of the behind the scenes stuff? Oh, it's really cool. How they created the little salamander looking thing or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. They create like the whole front part of it. It's really cool looking. Yeah, it's pretty amazing when they're like when he throws up on fucking. What's the dude's name? I can't remember the guy's name, like Thaddeus or whatever his name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, Brad, what was your favorite faction, man? Are you Brotherhood of Steel? Are you NCR? Who are you rooting for? Because everyone seemed equally incompetent at times.
I was gonna say I'm trying to think, and I don't think I can pick one.
I feel like I don't think there's really like a good faction. There's just people out there trying to. Well, the Brotherhood of Steel, they're a little different, but most factions are just there for perspiration.
Sorry now? They're the sweat.
I was gonna say they're sweating.
They're perspiring. Of course they are. I
Yes,
think
yeah,
they should be.
exactly.
It's probably very hot outside.
Yeah.
They were perspiring.
Now
I'm
listen, I'm
gonna
gonna say like, hey, he's joking like when I was joking saying Walton, okay?
Yeah.
Like it's okay.
They're all trying to survive. That's all they're trying to do. So I don't think it's like a
Come on.
persevere.
You want to be part of the team that guy, the doctor, that,
Oh, the
that
Enclave?
had problems with chickens.
Oh, fuck that guy.
That was hilarious, dude.
I saw a
Fuck
meme. I
that.
saw a meme with his photo, and it said, "Get somebody that looks at you like this guy looks at chickens."
Ew.
You know what's interesting is that so when he healed Old Boy's foot and like ghoulified him
Oh,
or
that was
whatever,
wild.
I
Yeah.
don't think he ghoulified him. I think he turned him into a super mutant. I think that was the forced evolutionary virus, and the dude just had it on him, which is insane.
That makes sense.
But I love the fact that when he ran into him, he was like trying to put a shotgun in his mouth. He was like,
Yeah.
yeah. And here's the crazy part is that like I love the fact that they finally talked like the entire one of my favorite like little I guess Easter eggs was like the way they had like the big bags or whatever for the squires. That's pretty much you being like overweight in fucking Fallout. Just get, I'll do it for you, sir. And all of them can't shoot for shit, which makes sense too because like none of them are really soldiers, right? Most of these people are like former raiders, they're orphans, that type of stuff. And the Brotherhood is like Brad's kind of right though. There is no real faction that's good. I think like Moldaver, I think that's her name. She's probably like the most sincere because
yeah, like for the people.
Yeah. That's Shady Sands was a fucking big thing in Fallout.
I was gonna say that whole thing was crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, so can I ask a question?
Sure.
So it was implied strongly that Lucy's dad was the one that was responsible for the attack.
Yeah.
This man just have nukes on the side? Like what the fuck happened?
Vault-Tec had ICBM capabilities, essentially. Like they had their hands on all that stuff. And the crazy thing is like in some of the Fallout games, you can get your hands on like nuclear weapons pretty fucking easily. Brad knows, got the mini nukes. Yeah, I find it interesting because like there's so many cool Easter eggs. The only things we didn't get to see was fucking death claws, man. What the fuck, Brad? Where's my death claw at? Death claws are shit your pants terrifying.
I'm kind of skeptical though. After seeing the rad bear or the Yao
Guai, which can be domesticated, by the way. Someone point that out. People did have them in pets in Fallout. Those are really cool.
That scene with in the cave. That was just a dude in a bear suit. That was just a dude in a bear suit.
I like how the night was fuck.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
like, what a bitch.
Man.
They're all cowards, essentially.
Yeah.
Also, I'm kind of glad he died
because you don't like Michael Rappaport. I don't like Michael.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't either. I never liked him really. Sorry.
I think that like it's. I want to know if there's going to be Death Claws next season. That'd be cool because they did show them in New Vegas. So basically, this is the latest, I think, right, in terms of the canon, in terms of the timeline. So this is the farthest. What's interesting is that we got
Death Claw's gonna look cool as shit.
We got glimpses of the Enclave. We got glimpses. I want to see a couple things like the mysterious stranger. Just have him show up in camera, dude. That'd be amazing. Who is everyone's least favorite character, or at least
Maximus?
I said the same shit.
I fucking can't stand that guy. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
He did annoy the fuck out of me, especially when he had the opportunity to give his real name, and he goes,
I get it.
Yeah.
Like I get it, but there were so many opportunities where I was like, dude, you're just digging yourself into a deep role.
Yeah,
like,
fucking idiot.
He became
Titan.
He became likable, in my opinion, in the episode when he was eating popcorn in his fucking.
Yes, I agree. I was like, that's a mood. That's a mood. But like before then, I was just like, bro, like the whole thing with the squire, I'm like, he got mad that the squire got mad at him. And I was like, you lied to him this whole time. He thinks you're somebody else. And then you admitted, oh, well, it's actually me, Maximus. Like, of course, I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, So you just branded me, like, and now you're gonna be like, "Hey, it's me, by the way. I'm not actually Titus."
Well, you know what?
I'm
To
pissed.
be fair, I would have been fucking with that dude also because he did
Well, 'cause he
beat the
beat him
shit.
up.
Yeah, he did bully
Yeah.
me with his boys.
Yeah, I know, but I
And
mean, they kind of did a heart to heart where he was like, what would you tell him?" You know, I get it. I get it. I'd fuck with him a little bit too, but before I brand the guy, I'd be like, "Hey, by the way, it's actually me."
I
I
think
branded him right between the eyes.
yeah, I know, motherfucker. I do think he was the least interesting.
Yeah.
Mainly because I've never had like an attachment to the Brotherhood of Steel, and plus like the way like his character was portrayed. And I think that was on purpose to kind of
It's,
be
I,
to be
I,
a coward.
I
You know?
typically like the Brotherhood of Steel. They seem to be like the most organized and like they have a purpose. Like I feel like several factions are just like we're just here to take over stuff or like to be the
Yeah.
ruler of things. And, like,
Hello.
Brotherhood of Steel, at least they have like they have a direction,
I just
whether
wanna
it be
wear
good or
the,
bad.
armor.
Yes, sir.
That's all
I
I want.
I feel like his character was like just conflicted to the point to where I didn't like watching him. I didn't understand what he wanted to do. It was like
He still didn't know
he's
what to do until like the very
like
end,
it was
after
like
he got
he
knocked out.
like because you could tell that like he wanted to be the good guy, but then like every action he took was like contradictory to what like his inner because you'd have like the flashbacks of when he was the kid or whatever, and it's like so you like it's there, but like everything he does is like, are you really though? Are you are you even who you say you are? I don't even know.
I
It
mean,
might be
he stuck that way to the very end, even when they started raising his hand, like, what's the fucking what
I
Knight Maximus killed
I
the
think well no, I think at that point he was just kind of stunned at what he saw. Like seeing the cold
yeah.
fusion, seeing the entire city lit up after he had like been after literally because it's right in front of where, you know, his home was destroyed. So he's
Mhm.
probably just fucking in shock and kind of at that point I think he was more like now he knows that the order is a lie. Or like we could potentially live normal lives, but in the hands of the Brotherhood, at least this sect or this, you know, this
Right.
section of the Brotherhood, that they were fucking potentially dangerous. You know what I mean? So I kind of get that part. Like I understand why he was stunned about. Like he didn't look like he was like celebrating the fact that it was happening, but he knew that if he tried to like resist at that point, they would have fucking killed
True.
him. You know what I mean?
True.
So I saw that as like, okay, we'll let that go. But I do like how every character, with the exception of the Ghoul, he didn't have to grow because he was just a badass the entire time.
Fuck that guy,
he already
man.
did all his growing.
That dude had so many fucking dope lines, dude. When he shot
Yeah.
Henry in the cheek, he's like, "You want another autograph, young Henry?" I was like, "This motherfucker is cold.
Yeah.
This man is cold as
Oh my
shit."
god, no, he had some good
How
ass
many?
lines. I'm sorry.
He's like my daddy lived in Philly. Not anymore. Don't.
Yo, that scene in Philly with him, that was good.
I mean, like you could. It's interesting because I was wondering. I really wanted to know like how they like brought his character out when they had him in the coffin and they were pretty much like feeding him or giving him Rad-X or Jet or whatever to keep him alive, and then they
Mhm.
let him out. And he's like, "Well, He's like, "This here looks like a bidding war." I did not expect him to shoot someone's leg off. That was fucking
That shit was
incredible.
wild.
Yeah, it's just it's because like his character, they did an excellent job of like showcasing Cooper and then showing him
Mhm.
as the Ghoul. So like his character
Yeah.
became compelling because what he was to who he became.
He became,
Mhm.
and it
Yeah.
just makes you so much more
really-
intrigued.
But the thing is like when you see like how he made certain decisions, like when that dude was turning feral and like he let him like talk and kind of have a happy thought before
Yeah.
he shot him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you can still sense the humanity.
And you can
there.
see like the look on his face
Yeah,
when he
he's got
saw
compassion.
when he was listening to like fucking Matt Berry's voice or whatever, and he was like looking like sad
Yeah.
at it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Watching his old like movies and stuff like that, which I always
Yeah.
love that. Like I always forget that Fallout is futuristic, but the stuff is black and white. It's like,
Yeah.
how did we not progress to this point? What the fuck? And
I
then
liked his line that he said in Spanish. I can't remember.
oh, it's like something de Puerta or something like that.
Puerta.
Yeah, and he was like,
The way he said it with the country accent was so funny to me.
it's super funny. He's from Alabama. He's from
Yeah, I know.
Right,
from
It's
Brad's
right.
part of
Yeehaw.
Woods. Yeah, no, I thought like he just fucking he was intimidating the entire time. He was brutal. You know, he
Yeah.
gave the number one rule of like the wasteland. Thou shalt fucking get put on like all these different adventures or whatever it is. Thou shalt get like pushed
Oh my
out
god,
the
thou
side.
shalt get sidetracked
Yeah,
by
that's like
bullshit or
by
something.
bullshit. Yeah. Every time he was on screen, it was like impactful. Same thing with Lucy. I like Lucy.
I love Lucy Liu. That's my
I
favorite.
liked how naive she was, like the
I
whole
didn't know
time.
she was my age.
Who
Lucy is
The
the main
actress?
Yeah.
character.
Oh,
Yeah.
the act. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I
I
loved
thought
how
she was older.
I loved how naive she was in like everything. She's
I love
well,
how badass she is. And then she
everyone.
goes back to the vault and she
Well, it's
reverts.
always she had that whole Pleasantville
Yes,
feel
dude.
to it.
Thank
The
you.
golden rule.
Yeah.
Good movie, by the way. Pleasantville.
Mm-hmm.
Toby. Was Toby Maguire? It was Toby Maguire, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Damn, I gotta rewatch that film now. I love Lucy's little brother too, Norm. Right?
Yeah.
I love, dude.
The guy from Hannah Montana.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
He was the younger brother. Or no, he was a younger brother. He was one of the characters in Hannah.
I thought he was gonna be like somewhat of a bad guy, like the way they kind of portrayed him at first, like the way he was like kind of defiant of like how the vault worked and stuff like that, and then
Well, I
eventually,
like how he always questioned things, like from the
Yeah.
beginning. I mean, when they
Very
did the
quizzical.
transfer, like he was watching them. He said, "This shit just doesn't feel right."
Jack, you've watched Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
Who is Betty in Deadpool? Do you know?
Blind Owl. Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
d-
Blind
wait.
Down, dude. Yeah, it's Blind Down. I love that so much,
Yeah.
dude. I kept laughing when I saw her. I was like, "Is that Blind Down?" Where,
I
Bless you.
expect her to
where's the
just wear
cocaine at?
glasses
Yeah,
and walk around with
and start doing cocaine.
yeah, the cocaine.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
the cure
that
for
was
cancer is right next to the
the
cocaine.
camera cancer's right next to the cocaine.
You need to stop sneezing.
I
Oh,
can't. These
that-
kids are getting me sick.
dude,
I
yeah.
feel it.
And then so what's her name? The girl who was pregnant, was it Stephanie, the blonde girl?
Bro, fuck that
Oh.
girl. I knew she was sussy.
She's
The whole
Vault 31, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder who she was. What she did.
I feel like she'd be like a secretary or like a reception.
Yeah. Dude, I love the fact that the dad was just an executive assistant and he somehow got looped into like this really big, massive role. That's fucking amazing. All right. Brad, what was your favorite episode, man?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. We're killing it.
I'm gonna say episode. Was it 2?
Where they went
Yeah.
to Philly?
The gunfire scene. Yeah, Philly. That was probably my favorite.
That was a good one.
I don't know that red bear scene. That was to me. It was just funny. The
That
young
was
wife.
funny.
It was,
That was funny.
that night was just like, are you gonna shoot him? he's like, kill him, please. Oh, dude, that was
because that's
he's like,
something
"You
you
were
would
the
do in
worst."
Fallout 76. You just let
He's
him
like,
get
you were
attacked.
the worst. You were the worst squire ever. You will go down as history as the worst squire.
It's
Now,
like you should
in-
be saying that while you're dying, like while this man's like where your life is in his hands. Like the fuck.
That's so good.
I was watching a clip on Fallout 4,
Mhm.
and it was a part where you find the kid in the fridge.
Yeah. And he's a ghoul.
Yeah, he's a ghoul, and then he follows you, and the caption's like the worst thing you could do in this game. And then you run into the guy, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
Yeah, buy
person
that girl
you."
off you?
And then you
Yeah.
go straight. Yeah. How much you willing to pay? He's like 20 caps. He's like, okay.
So, yeah, you can do Fallout is one of the most wild. The experiences are so wild
Nice.
because like the gameplay is over the top and goofy, and
Yeah.
like the vaults are like the darkest fucking things you've ever read. Like
Yeah.
Jesus, some of the narratives are like that as well. I mean, like New Vegas, for example, has like probably some of the best. Like they have one of the best characters, Joshua Graham, Ulysses. That entire like game has some of the best like narrative elements I've seen. Some of it's probably because it's not Bethesda writing it. No offense to anyone who's like a big Bethesda fan. That's Obsidian. Obsidian fucking knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that they will eventually tie. It feels like they're going to tie a lot of stuff to New Vegas, which will be interesting to see what they do. Chibi, have you done sneezing? Because I want to ask you what your favorite episode
yeah.
was.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna say, my favorite part of my favorite scene was when she was about to get married off at the very beginning, and her cousin was like, he's like, but what
Of
if I
course you're
object?
Alabama
And she
asshole.
she goes,
Brought him back to his roots.
that caught me off guard. I mean, it makes total sense. Like I get it. She's
Where's
like,
Brandon? Brandon's like, it was back in the day like me. I object,
Shut
sir.
she's like, I know you love me, but what we did when we were 16 is just not cool now.
We were just
I was like,
practicing.
oh my god.
That was the fun. I mean, let's be realistic, right? Like, how does all this work, right? How are all they work? What were they doing with each other? Eventually you're gonna fucking experiment. Yes, ma'am.
Question. So because I mean obviously it's probably was like an oversight,
Mhm.
but like Lucy and her cousin and her brother were like the youngest people in the vault. Like who would they have reproduced with? You know what I mean? Like there wasn't that many choices.
Stephanie, the
Like
blonde
I'm
girl.
just saying, like if you
I mean,
okay, it
she
literally
she
except
had
for
a
the blonde
yeah,
girl.
right.
The one who got stabbed in
She
the
had a
eye.
Chance with
sorry.
Maximus, and then Maximus did that weird ass speech where he's like, back in camp we talked about this thing where
Oh, dude, when he
this
got
weird
what
happens
was he?
down there.
Was he drunk on something when he was like, "You gonna make it explode now"? I
I
started
like how
laughing.
she just nonchalant, like, well, out of boredom, she's like, "You want to have sex?"
Yeah,
I know that was funny.
I was like, "Girl, we just survived. Like, you
I'd be
need to
like, girl,
relax."
chill. But
I
yeah,
was just shot.
I was just like, realistically, like, who would have had more kids? Like, I don't know. It was an oversight because if you're looking at that vault, all of them looked over 40. Now, the guys, whatever. But, like, women after a certain age, like 40, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
your chances
Start
of
having
having kids
issues.
are like
Yeah,
none.
yeah.
So I was like, come on, at least have some younger people in the vault to make it seem realistic. I don't know. That was just my
I mean,
nitpicking.
unless we missed, some context where a lot
Yeah.
of the younger ones were transferred off to
Or
other
dead.
vaults or dead.
They
Yeah.
died.
Remember Vault
Yeah. But
30?
I was just,
It was which vault was it? 32, where everyone like got killed or
I mean, yeah,
murdered each
32,
other.
everyone was
32's
dead,
We
but then
knew
they came
the
over.
truth. I was like, oh, I was waiting for like a ghoul to
That
jump
shit
out and
was
attack them and shit.
crazy.
I was like, oh shit.
The fact that it happened for it was 2 years later and they had no
Yeah.
idea. I was like, that's it.
I mean, that's essentially. I mean, they don't talk to one another
I
except for like
know, which you
every
would
year,
think
right?
they
Yeah.
would. Yeah. I don't know if I have a favorite episode, but I have favorite part. I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
one part that I think about a lot is kind of like Lucy's almost like transformation. So when the ghoul sells her off to that
Oh
lab
yeah.
facility thing,
I mean, you can
Yeah.
just
and
say
they
they
fucking
were
cut each
slavers.
other's yeah, cuts each other's fucking finger off. I thought that was funny. And then,
That's the first. That's the first
she
human
goes
interaction we've had. And I was like,
yeah. She goes to meet Snip Snip, which by the way, I love Snip Snip. But like that whole fight scene, that whole I don't know, transgression I should say. I enjoyed it a lot even though I fucking hate ghouls, zombies, whatever you're going to call them. I
oh,
really enjoyed
oh,
that
when she was
scene.
like, oh wait, no, like we're good. We're gonna get you help. And so I was
Yeah.
like, that's not how this is gonna
Yeah.
work. That ghouls
Well, I
gonna.
liked that and then this fight with Snip Snip. I thought like that whole thing was cool. And then when she gets out and she looks fucking badass, I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
she pretty much has like
Yeah.
the armor that
Oh,
when you leave like
yeah.
from the facilities.
And then she fucking goes, "Golden rule, motherfucker." Throws the vials on him. I said, "Hot damn." I thought that was so good. I loved that part. So that was the one that stood out. And then the whole fight scene that they have at
Philly?
Philly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that shootout.
I think my
Yeah.
favorite scene was it was the final episode where fucking the ghoul is like giving them like a lecture, the Brotherhood on
Yeah.
like the T60s. He's like they had an actual
Oh
defect
yeah.
under the chest plate of the welding. Snaps and shoots him. I guess not. I was like,
That was
God
good.
damn.
And then it was like in the dark. I'm gonna go wipe my nose, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree.
So does this? I should probably wait till she gets back because I was gonna ask. Like, does this make you have like a bigger interest in playing the games?
Oh, I think it has for a
No.
lot of people because
Well,
look
for
at the
you
sales.
specifically, Jack.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested in seeing and comparing between what I saw in the show and what it's in the game.
Because
Um,
it is interesting because I was
it's a good
curious
story.
about like with Fallout, there's really disconnected stories, right? You have the lone survivor, you have fucking was it like the lone wanderer, the vault dweller, all that stuff, right? And then you have the courier, Courier 6, who's fucking amazing. Um, and I was kind of curious because I was like, a lot of people are probably experiencing this show for the first time or this universe for the first time. And I know that
Hmm.
like for a lot of people, I think we just wanted to see like whether or not this would be a good adaptation. Like I was a massive fan of The Last of Us because of the writing. Everything about that was just pretty much pitch perfect. It comes from the producer from Chernobyl. If you haven't seen that show,
Hmm.
watch it. Watch it once. Don't watch it again. You're gonna get fucking depressed. But that was essentially like The Last of Us was like one of the most. It was a perfect adaptation, and then Fallout comes along, and I'm like, it's completely different tone wise, right?
Yeah.
It's goofy, it's fun, it's satire, and
It's got a little bit of everything.
I was very curious to see like if people, how, I know like the initial fan base would probably be like, I want to go and play Fallout again. I want
That's
to know
literally
like,
what Michael and Colby said.
yeah, I want to know what individuals who have never played Fallout, if you're interested in kind of diving into that universe.
Yeah.
So Jack said,
I'm interested, but I think the problem I have is I don't know which one I'd want to play.
I would probably say 4 is like the most
Oh.
accessible. Hold on, I know. Some people I like if you play like here's the thing. I'm gonna give you like a little. If you're gonna play New Vegas, which is widely considered by a lot of people the best Fallout, you're gonna have to mod the fuck out of it.
I was say
Yeah.
it's actually
For it to
weird
look good.
because either people
for it to work.
say it's
Dude.
Oh, to work. Oh shit.
New Vegas has a ton of bugs, and people have worked diligently for the last like decade to fix that game, and it runs fantastic now.
there is a rabid fandom against it and for it.
And for it, correct, yeah.
Like well a lot more for it, but like the people that are like it's overrated, it's barren. To me it is one of like the most diverse storyline. The Caesar's Legion is one of my favorite factions just because of who they are.
The writing in it is amazing. Like it's some of the best I've seen like from Bethesda, like from like their production studios. Like I feel like if you could take the writing from like New Vegas and you try to drop it next to like 3 and 4, anything that's like, even 1 and 2 if you want to do tactics. No one talks about tactics, but if you drop all of them together, everyone's like New Vegas, 3, then 4, and then 1 and 2 because they're old, and then 76. 76 is more like it's kind of its own thing, even though I assume it did, from what Brad has shown me, it has gotten a lot better. But I think like if you want to play something that feels a bit more modern, probably 4 is the one to start with. You just have to forgive like, and the great thing is like you're not used to the Fallout universe, so like the writing won't bother you as much because it's not a great story. But
they have some really good characters.
They have some good characters. Nick Valentine, the synth. They did greatly expand the universe. Like they add so much cool shit in it. And 4 is also easy to mod too, to kind of make the game, run smoother and get a couple quality of life. They're doing a next gen release tomorrow and doing an updated patch tomorrow. So
is that gonna update the graphics or just add more?
Probably. I mean, maybe. You don't know. I don't know.
It's supposed it's more for consoles than it is for PC, but they are adding some content. I don't think it's anything major.
No, it's like they are adding like an Enclave story and a couple other things to flesh out. I think Fallout 4, because I think a lot of fans felt like there was a lot of missed opportunities in 4. I think like as a game, gameplay wise, I had a fuck ton of fun. They introduced the settlement stuff, to which you either hate settlements or you love that type of building.
I was kind of surprised they didn't do some reference to that in the.
I need Preston Garvey to shut the fuck up, bro.
Some dude just goes, "Hey, a settlement needs you," and just runs away.
As he's walking over, he's like, "How's it going? Where you going? What's your name, Lucy?" Shakes her hands like, "A settlement needs you." And then we spent 2 episodes defending a place.
Actually, I think it would have been great if they would have started out an episode like that, and then like Lucy wakes up.
Yeah,
it's just like a nightmare.
But they, I think 3 probably has like some of the best narrative stuff too, especially because they kind of show you how like nefarious some of the other how like bad the Brotherhood of Steel can be sometimes. It's interesting because like one of the things the show touches upon is like it just shows you kind of a glimpse of the West Coast faction, but they're like all over the place, right? The New California Republic is pretty vast. I think it's like, was it like Oregon, Nevada, Utah, and then straight down to like Arizona and stuff like that. It's really large. And then like if you're gonna play it, it's I think 4 is just the most enjoyable in terms of access, and they're also like this is just me. I don't know how Brad feels about it, but when you're talking to people in 4, sarcasm is the best fucking thing ever. You are the worst person. You're the worst human possible, dude.
I do really appreciate the voiced protagonist in 4,
because like in New Vegas in 3, it's like text boxes, and they're like, and they can be really funny because you're an asshole, but with the responses by people. But like in 4, dude, you're just like, yeah. You're like talking to like a fucking a Codsworth, right? Like the robot, and he's like,
Yeah.
really, 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 and he gets more sarcastic as you go along, and the thing like explodes because it can't handle the sarcasm. He's like, oh,
and a lot of the dialogue options are not like fully conveying because there'll be like a sarcastic option and you'll select it and like you're just a total dick. I'm like, whoa,
you
wait
are
a minute.
you are the you're like
Didn't mean it
the
like that.
you're the
Like, wait a minute,
worst
wait a
you're the
minute.
worst human being when you say some shit.
You're like, that is not what I
Oh,
read.
Yeah, I think they you know once Fallout 4 I think has probably like my favorite of the DLC. Like Far Harbor is
Oh,
fantastic,
dude.
so
Nuka
good.
World, I
Nuka,
love Nuka World.
yeah, Nuka World's good, but Far Harbor,
The ending was kind of meh,
yeah.
but
But yeah,
So how many hours would
as
you
many
put?
as you want, big dog. That's the thing. They'll,
especially with
Is it one of
4.
those? There's a lot of side things
have you
too.
played Skyrim?
Ish.
You remember how you know how Chris is obsessed with Skyrim, and he's probably
Uh-huh.
played like 1,000 hours more. That's probably like a lowball number. It's like that. There's so much side content in Fallout. It's insane, and it's
Fall,
good.
Fallout 4 is the only game I have ever taken off of work to play. I took off 2 days. I played like 65 hours in the first 4 days or something
Mhm.
like that. And I was nowhere like I was
If you
Damn.
halfway through.
if you dive into that rabbit hole, I promise you, it's going to be hard for you to like pick yourself up sometimes, bro. It is. That is
Yeah.
such a fun game because it really is a sandbox. Like the moment they're like, okay, you left the vault, now you have to go to Boston, right? Okay, and like I at one point, like Brad, I was like 60 hours, and it's like, what the fuck was I doing with the main quest? It's like, oh, I gotta find my son, and I was just roaming
Oh, I forgot
around.
about him.
I was like, I forgot about that little bastard. I gotta go back. But yeah, I would say like Fallout 4, and then you could probably test like New Vegas and Fallout 3. There's supposed to be a 3 remaster coming out this year too.
Oh, that'll
So
be good.
that'd be sick because
I might wait till the remasters come
Liam
out.
Neeson's
I
in
would play a
Fallout 3.
remaster. Ah, fuck.
Also,
Sorry, I don't
Liam.
like-
there's
boy.
supposed to be a community game or like a mod of for
France? Was it Fallout Paris or whatever it was called? I can't remember.
London. It was it was Fallout London and it's a community build of Fallout 4.
I know that sounds funny, right?
And the next gen update pushed their release back because they don't know how it's going to react to the new update. So they have to reconfigure things. So
I know
that's being pushed back quite a while, but I am excited to play.
Yeah, I know that sounds pretty funny, but like the modding community in this is amazing. Like they have created full on DLC. I think for like Fallout, I think it was it 3, they did like a complete recreation of like the pit, which is one of the best DLC that Fallout 3 has, and they've done it like I think they're putting it in 4. That's how like that's how extensive they've gone to. They've actually hired voice actors to like do all that stuff. So I was always curious because like, you know, when the Last of Us TV show came out, a lot of people went and played The Last of Us. When Fallout, I was like, you know, people have to be diving back into that because Fallout 76 had like 1 million players. And that was essentially kind of a fucking dead game at the time. Like a lot of people had lost interest. And then when I replayed it with Brad, I was like, holy shit, they added so much. And Brad was kind of annoyed. He was like, I used to struggle back in my day.
Dude, they really relied on the survival aspect of the game. Everything was a grind. Ammo, health items, food, everything. And you play it now and you take 4 shots to kill something and they give you 8 pieces of ammo and I'm like, what the crap?
You're like, I wasn't like this.
Back in my day.
Back in
So, I do have a question for everyone. Let's get some theories out. Where does everyone see season 2 going? Let's start with Chibi. What do you see happening? What do you want to see happen?
I don't know. I kind of want to see some drama go down with the ghoul and his family. I really do think that his wife is going to be some type of evil mastermind just because of her disposition that we saw in the flashbacks. You know, she basically was like, for a better future, we need to have a war. Like, you know what I mean? Like, was
The
the
very
one that
fact
wanted
that
to
that's like a
start it.
fucking thought
Yeah.
process to like drop
Right?
nukes and everyone's
I
cool with
was
it.
like, right? And everyone's like, I could make my own vault. I was like, who actively thinks this, you know? So I hope to see something like that. I'm interested to see Lucy's progression with the ghoul as well. Like I'm interested to see this dynamic duo-esque thing going on, because they've had some beef. So I'm interested to see where that goes.
Anything with like Maximus now?
Fuck that kid.
All right.
Fuck that shit.
All right. All right. Jack, what about you? What are you looking to see, man? What are you hoping for?
I don't know. I'm sure there's gonna be some kind of drama between Lucy and her father.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Oh my god, with the mom? Oh
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's crazy how like so convinced he was about
Yeah.
that. When your mom left the vault without you, she wasn't your mother anymore. I was
Yeah.
like,
I was like,
fuck?
Right.
the Lulu
Right.
ass bitch. I mean, come
Right.
on. These are the same people that started a war, essentially. Like, are we surprised?
But I'm wondering if we're gonna like in season 2, we're gonna see the backstory of his backstory about how he fell from or how he raised from executive
Mm,
assistant to the role he's in
Well,
now.
it's
Like,
interesting because
did he sacrifice her mom to get to that?
I don't know, but I think like if you look at the when they showed the isolation pods or the cryopods, it still said executive assistant on it. So his title was the same. And
Huh.
it's, yeah,
But
and
he made some
yeah.
pretty big decisions.
I wonder, like, what the
I
order was
I
that
He
think
they
he,
got
assisted
released
with the decision.
yeah, he was an assistant. I
to the
think
assistant.
I think for the most part, my theory on that is like they knew that he would fall in line because he's looking for a promotion and he knows that like
Mm.
Vault Tech runs
Which
everything,
right,
right?
which makes me feel like it wasn't a decision based on her mom not becoming her mom anymore. I think he may have made some kind of sacrifice with his family
I think
to
he might have made that
get where he
decision.
is.
He might have made that decision to preserve himself and to make and to like I mean betraying Vault Tech because you have to think about this, right? If that company can drop fucking nukes and that company has access to viruses and all this other shit and all these other horrors, like you are just a speck to them. That's
Mhm.
essentially the lesson you learn is, and that does get taught a lot in like Fallout in the game. That when Vault Tech wants to take something, they'll fucking take it from you.
Yeah.
And I think that as a company man, right? It's like you got to go along to get along, and to go against the grain essentially is putting a fucking death warrant down on you. I think he saw it like that, like, and I'm pretty sure he
Yeah,
was
and that makes sense.
confused, right, about why like his wife would leave the safety of a vault, you know. And he was probably one of those people who drank the Kool-Aid too, like, yeah, man, Vault-Tec is trying to make this place a better, we're trying to make this a better world. Look what they did to us, right? Look what they make us do when we're on the outside, right? They make us violent and stuff like that. It's like, nah, dude, like, you guys are warmongers. You guys nuked the entire country, possibly the planet,
Hmm.
right? Like major corporations who were building robots and weapons of war, all that stuff. You guys all met in a small room and then decided to nuke the world and remake it in your image.
When they
Was
said the keyword time, I was like, they fucking froze themselves, didn't they?
Yeah,
I said they
Yeah.
fucking did it.
but Bud became a brain.
Dude,
he's
that was
he's a
crazy.
brain bot. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
who want that?
Let me
What the
stick
fuck is wrong with
you,
this guy?
right?
Stay still.
I
Let me
don't think
stick you.
I don't think he maybe wanted it. Maybe, homegirl convinced him,
Probably. He was a
you
big
know?
fan.
Yeah.
Should have got another
I
autograph.
really do
Should have
think
asked for the
she's the
autograph from Cooper.
mastermind. Yeah.
Well, I think that was like the big reveal too, right? Like she was complicit in everything, and not only that, like she wasn't just some random,
Mhm.
worker for Vault-Tec. She was a straight on like face behind all this stuff. She
Yeah.
knew how to like push the right buttons, and I think Cooper acted that out perfectly when like he just looked stunned the entire time. I
Mhm.
was like, holy shit. So I wonder how that confrontation went. That's what I want to see. I want
Mhm.
to see like how he and his wife had that
Mhm.
discussion and then
Mhm.
potentially like separated,
Mhm.
and maybe
Yeah, I'd
he
like
Because
to
he knew what
see
she
if
was
his
doing.
yeah.
maybe he shoots her with the big gun, the big iron.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be some moral conflicts with Maximus and the Brotherhood now.
Well, I mean, dude, that dude switched up really quick, didn't he? The guy who wanted the
Yeah.
technology and shit like that. What if he's like Maximus? He's like, I will be at the front, which technically the Brotherhood of Steel's like they're supposed to have like a council, a high council and stuff like that. He's like, I will be at the front and you will be right beside me. And I was like, motherfucker,
I
this
think
ain't
it's
Game
going
of
to
Thrones.
turn yeah.
The way he
I think
phrased it,
that
though, was
yeah.
interesting.
Calm
I
down,
think what'll
Joffrey.
happen is that faction's going to separate into two
Oh, yeah.
factions.
Well, that's also a good point because a lot of the
That's a
Brotherhood of
good
Steel,
point.
some of them are like I said, they're about pre-war tech, and then you have outcasts, who are pretty much individuals who have become jaded by the Brotherhood of Steel. What's
And
interesting,
I think it'd be interesting if their little sigil or
that
will
like,
be the claw marks.
here's the cool part, right? That fucking airship, that airship was in Fallout 4. That airship is like the fucking that's the head of the, so I think the head of the Brotherhood of Steel is there, and he might make an appearance in season 2, which will be very interesting to see how that works out. Because what's interesting is that most of the Brotherhood of Steel, they do not like working with outsiders. For the most part, they fucking hate it. They want to like kind of keep it in arms. It's because raiders are, they're psychopaths. Like, people are eating each other. But the head of the Brotherhood of Steel, I can't remember his name. Brad, it's like Manson or something like that. Branson. He's like the most open individual when it comes to like working, because he works with like synths and some ghouls and stuff like that. Like, he's not opposed to any of that type of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see like whether or not there's like any type of conflict there. So I like that. I do want to see what happens to the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put my money on the factions separating into two.
Yeah.
And then what'll happen is
Makes
his
sense.
he used to be
Brotherhood
best
and
friend
Steel.
will probably be against him.
The
At that
brother
point.
and the hood. So,
Yeah,
which
right.
one?
Oh my god.
How y'all fighting? Let's go.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have conflicts with his best friend.
So I think, did I talk to you about that,
Really?
Jack? Like, we were confused. We were kind of theory crafting, like who really
I
mangled her
was
foot.
so fucking confused about that. And then they dropped it where it was like, oh yeah, I did it myself. I was like, that was like, how would you
That
even
was
guess?
out of nowhere. Yeah, that was
was
out of
That was
nowhere.
weird. I thought that
also
was weird.
disturbing. Like, you put a fucking
Yeah.
razor blade in
Yeah,
your
that
boot.
Ah.
that hurts.
Having
Yeah.
worn like those types of boots, dude, that like there's essentially, once you pull them off or put them on, you're just mangling your foot.
Stop. Oh.
It's gruesome. I was like, oh my god, dude. Like, there's
Yeah,
like just
maiming
drop
their
a
own
just drop a
ankles,
weight on
yeah.
your foot or something, man. Break it or something.
Yeah.
There's
Like,
easier ways
break
to
their
do
leg.
this shit, dude.
I know. I was just like, I never would have guessed like they did it to themselves.
I
And I was like,
think
when was that?
I think she's very loyal to Maximus. Like, they're like buddies. And I think that
Yeah.
she's gonna support him no matter what she does, unless she becomes like, maybe she becomes knighted or something, and then ends up
Unless
fighting.
the old squire comes back and heads the separate
He
faction.
can't. Oh, that I was gonna say
Oh,
he
yeah,
can't.
that
He
guy.
can't come back because he's technically a ghoul. Oh man, why am
They
I
don't know
not
that.
dead?
That shit was funny.
They don't
He
know
goes,
that.
why am I so alive?
Dude, Fred Armisen, by the way, that's one of my favorite cameos, where he's like in the radio station. He's like, I like the traps.
Yeah.
It's all he's like, yeah, man. You hear the classics? You hear the drop? He's like sitting
Oh
there,
yeah. That
right
was
there.
such an awkward. I love that. He's like,
And the reason
yeah,
why
yeah.
and the reason why I would see him as potentially being like one of the prominent leaders in what could be a separated faction would be because he did like to stick to the rules of the Brotherhood,
Yeah.
no
I-
matter what.
I
Like,
wonder if that was more toward but like, you could sense like the cynicism, right? When they had those discussions about the brother, like they all kind of like, even when like they were discussing at the end, when they were swapping heads, you could kind of hear them like, yeah, like, they were like telling Lucy, yeah, no, they're not like that. Like, they're kind of fucked up. It's like everyone kind of knows the Brotherhood's fucking weird, but they're a means to an end. You know what I mean? If I can't like,
Brad said.
no, I mean, you can't survive unless you're a part of some faction. Like, lone wanderers generally die,
no.
unless you're that doctor who I don't know how the fuck don't know how it happened. Brad, what about you? What are we theory crafting about New Vegas? Like, what do we? Because it looks like it's torn, bro. There's the
Right.
there's the vertebra, there's the vertibird, there's the Deathclaw stuff. Did New Vegas get attacked at the
I
end?
don't know. Yeah, I don't know how long the show's gonna go on. So
Mhm.
it's like, how much of how much can you fit into what is left?
Right.
So do they push it on for 8 more seasons and include everything that Fallout has ever been, or do they wrap it up in 2 more seasons? I would really like to see synth stuff.
Oh,
Now, I understand
God, that would be amazing.
comes from. I mean, so I know the institute's over in Boston. So
Yeah.
now you mentioned the flying fortress, the Brotherhood. Still, maybe the synths get on there and they go across. I don't know how they would tie that in. I don't know how big the institute is. So
They were pretty massive in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
So, and I
No,
know
so
we're
say-
kind of confusing you guys. The institute's like this,
Yeah.
kind of like hyper fucking like technology fucking sect, right? They're brilliant. They want to like fucking immediately push humanity forward. They believe like some of the other factions are just idiots, and so they also want to fuse man and machine, which is essentially like what a synth is. It's a cyborg, that type of stuff. Um, and so like in Fallout 4, they get introduced and they're pretty much within DC. But if Brad's kind of right, if the Brother of Steel, if the main ship is there, then maybe there's some synths on board, and we might get like the introduction of a new faction. I agree with that. What else, Brad? What do you say?
I would like to see a railroad faction. Obviously, the railroad is a small faction in DC, so that's not a. But like something like that, where it is a wholesome faction. They're just trying to help people.
Are we gonna get the Zaytans? Are we gonna get some alien stuff? That's also in Fallout. There are aliens, so if you happen to see like a crashed spaceship or a little fucking vicious green man, that's also there. I just want to see the Mysterious Stranger show up one time. So for those who don't know, the Mysterious Stranger is a perk, and it's basically, I think it's high perception. I can't remember what it was, but basically, as you get like a crit or something, the stranger's like this random character just pops up and fucking gets a kill shot on somebody and then disappears, and it's always by like random piano music.
Yeah, he's got a long trench coat. He's just like.
All right, time to Google. Time to Google.
I love the Mysterious Stranger. I want to see that happen so bad.
Is he a ghoul?
No, nobody knows what he is. Some
he's
people
just
are
like a shadowy figure.
Some people think the Mysterious Stranger is a synth. Some people think he's a ghoul. He might be an alien. Something, dude. He's.
I really do. If it is going to New Vegas, the Boomers. Oh. That was one of my favorite parts of New Vegas. Just some crazy people that like worship guns, like. And they're just isolationists. They're like, if you come within 100 meters, you're going to get blown up.
I want to see Joshua Graham, if he still exists. Probably one of the coolest characters. There's so many. Like, I wonder if they're gonna do stuff with the Courier, if they're gonna make like appearances, if they're gonna show Mr. House. Right, the House always wins because he was also. It's interesting because I was surprised they showed him in the show. I was like, what the fuck, man? That's a big reveal to see how serious he was because like essentially he built the strip. Or built the strip in Vegas. Like, what's crazy is that like he knew about all the nukes, right? And he built fail safes around Vegas that essentially repelled almost every nuclear weapon except for like 2. So some part of the strip was destroyed, but like he took a vault and converted it into a casino. the dude's a fucking monster. And I was like, oh, they just spoiled it right there. But I'm interested in seeing I want to see Lucy and the Ghoul. I want to see more about the Ghoul's backstory. I want to see more about New Vegas. I want to see more of the NCR too, because a lot of people were speculating that like the death of Moldaver was like the death of the NCR, but I'm like, that's not how that works. The NCR is legitimately all of California and this wide region, so there's multiple factions in the NCR. I want to see if the Legion survived. Like 80s just fucking shows up. Like, is that Caesar? Like, you're gonna see like there's so much crazy shit that happens because all these people just like decide to kind of do their own thing, and they're all fucking brutal. Like it's the most insane shit. In Vegas is, it's interesting because someone had built a vault or built a specific casino that had a vault in it, and in it was like supposed to have like cryo stuff. So I want to know what the connection is between Vault Tech or maybe Robco, because it's not just Vault Tech, it's like the other companies that worked with them. There's like so many possibilities with this show, but obviously like it's crazy because you could technically end this in the second season by just having Lucy and the Ghoul chase him over to fucking New Vegas, have a big firefight, and then that's the end of the story, right? You could do that. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping they don't try to mix things up a little bit too much, like with the characters, like kind of keep the dynamics. Have like, Maximus now like as this knight. Let's see how he operates within the Brothers of Steel. Does he try to like sabotage them from within because they have access to the cold fusion energy? Are we going to see laser weapons? Are we going to see, all this different tech going on? Like what's going on with dog meat? Like, can we get more of the dog ripping people apart?
Can we get more dog meat? Can that be our precious baby?
Yeah, like throw like random stuff. I want to see death claws. I just want to see one, dude.
That'd be cool to see.
I want to see death.
I googled it, and that thing looks.
They're fucking awesome, dude. Death claws are amazing. There's
the first one you come across in 4.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty fun scene. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that they can kind of showcase. Like I do want to see what happens to Norm because he is in Vault 31. Did he go sit in a cryo chamber? That type of stuff. Like, do we get more information on Betty? more background on her, like what's Vault Tech's actual, like, you know, what have they been doing with the world? Or it'd be fucking hilarious if we find out that they just like flat out failed. Like there's just remnants
I
of
think
them.
they did.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, the vaults were, you had, it's crazy because they had so many control vaults set up that were just like normal vaults, but like they fucked up completely. You know, what I want to see, Brad, like randomly, and this is like a Fallout 1 thing, and you know, fans of like that game will love it, is Necropolis. Necropolis is where all the ghouls, like from one of the vaults. So one of the experiments was, it really wasn't an experiment, it was just cruel. When the bombs went off, that instead of closing the door, they kept the vault door open. And so all those people either died from radiation sickness or they ghoulified. And then once they left the vault, they created their own city called Necropolis. I'm very curious if we get to see something like that on their way over to
I feel like they
New
might.
Vegas.
That's a pretty cool idea.
That'd be really sick to kind of see like the different, like we said, the different factions. It's really interesting because this, you know, there's, you see how like society just kind of survived. Some people, once it's like the same, it's, you know, it looks like nothing changed, right? Like war never changes. It's like people don't change either. You're trying to survive by any means necessary, and that includes being a cannibal, you know, being a ghoul, that type of stuff.
You know,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Adapt.
there's so much story to tell too because like they did such a great job with like Cooper Howard's story, and pretty much for those who like, a lot of people are like looking at all the thumb, like, you know, he's the fault, he's the Pit Boy. That's him, right? Which is pretty cool. So Brad's like, wait, I didn't even notice that, bro. What are you talking about? But yeah, I don't think I just think the production values were crazy. The acting was on point. Like, I want to see more vaults though. I do.
I do. I want to see the
got a
different
question.
ones.
I want to see the
I do have a
Panther
question.
vault. You can look
do
it
have
up.
a question.
There's a Panther vault.
There is a Panther Vault. It's all Panthers.
Are we gonna hold on, Brad? Are we gonna see the Puppet King? My favorite one of all. They took this guy, this poor dude. They isolated him, and for a whole year, they pretty much didn't give him shit. I think like he's pretty much like losing his mind, and then they snuck into the vault and dropped off this package, and in it were fucking puppets, and he was like cool with it, but there was this one puppet that looked like the Pit Boy or the Fallout Boy, right? And that puppet was like sending him like subliminal messages, like he was really insane, and he ended up killing people because of the puppet. And there's like a thing in Fallout 3 where you meet a character who's like fucking trying to hide from him. He's like, you don't get it, man. He's gonna come back for this shit. Like, I don't want to be here when he does. I was like, the puppet kid, the puppet man. I was like, oh my god, the fuck.
I'm reading through like the top 10 Fallout vaults with the previous backstories.
Yeah.
22 seems interesting.
Which one's that one?
Where the vault dwellers turn into bright green spore carriers.
Yeah, that one was,
because there's fungal spores
that one was interesting because it's the one vault in New Vegas that's very different because, you know, technically the outside is like a wasteland, but there's like
greenery.
but there's trees and greenery by the thing, and when the people escape, they put don't touch the plants, which I thought was really cool. But the Panther one's my favorite, Brad. They put like fucking 22 people in a vault and a Panther. That was their experiments. They have one vault. I think my favorite vault, I don't know if Brad likes this one, but my favorite vault is when pretty much these people were trying their hardest to like, they were working on human genetics and cloning, and they cloned a vault dweller. His name was Gary. And so Gary cloned himself, I think 20 times or something like that, but he could not speak. He could only say Gary, and he was a very angry, very violent individual who ended up killing all of the people in the vault except each other because they liked each other because they're named Gary. So in Fallout 3, when you go into the vault, the first thing you hear is Gary. And they just attack you, dude. It's creepy looking too. It really is unsettling. Gary. Oh, Gary.
Gary, he was a nice guy.
He was a nice guy, and then they pushed him too far. They pushed the Gary too far.
Now I don't know if the timeline makes sense, but there's a Vault 12 where no, that's not it. Vault 75.
Mm-hmm.
Vault 75 is where all the another set of kids were put. So I'm wondering if that's where
it's
The
interesting because
ghouls kid went.
it's interesting because there's a ton of like I think she went to a control vault. She had to like gotten access or something. But yeah, the most of the Fallout games, I think 3 and 4, the way they start is like you're just like running into the vault and stuff like that. And 3 is when you grow up in the vault. 4 is when you're like you get cryogenically frozen. And then I think New Vegas you just get shot in the head. And then you wake up in the fucking desert and then it's revenge time. Chiba, you gonna play Fallout?
I think I'd play the remastered one.
There you
I
go.
like pretty graphic.
You like pretty. I like daggone pretty things.
I like pretty things. I'm
there
a
is a,
creature of habit.
There's a HD resolution pack for 4.
Isn't like the ENV mod, I think, or like completely changes the way the game looks. Like it looks gorgeous and detailed.
It's
Really?
only like 200 gigs.
Yeah, it's only
Yeah.
200 gigabytes. So if you want to patch that
Good
bad
thing I
boy up for
have,
me,
300
I do have a
gigabyte
question
computer.
though. With all the cameos in the first season, who else should cameo?
should
All in.
cameo?
Yeah.
You talking about like the actors and actresses?
Yeah.
More people from the IT crowd.
That'd be really good.
Um,
I'd appreciate that.
Bruce Campbell. I think Bruce Campbell should be
Oh,
somewhere.
that'd be great. Like a ghoul.
He just looks like a Fallout guy. Yeah, he just looks like a Fallout.
Just like a random ghoul, Bruce Campbell would be fucking great.
And he has a chainsaw.
I think a lot of people
What
are gonna
about Danny
probably.
McBride?
Dude, dude, they could do. Have you seen This Is the End? Has anyone
Yes.
seen that? Well, if they do a
Yes.
I want a Danny McBride, Channing Tatum cameo in that order, by the way. where
And
you
they
pull-
should do it as a scene
Yes,
from This
dude.
Is the End.
Yes, dude. When he pulls him out as the gimp,
I love that guy.
and Channing Tatum's like, "What's up, guys?" That was the best part when they fucking like when Danny McBride brought him out. He's like, "Yeah, that's my sex slave, bro. It's my gimp." And like Channing Tatum's like, "What's up, guys? What's up, fellas?" He did that. He did the kind of a similar cameo in Bullet Train, where like Channing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where, is this like the gay thing? Like,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He does so many weird cameos. Trying to think, like, I just want to see, like, I think I want to see if Bubba Gump comes back. That'd be great. Like he like chases him
I'd
with like a
love
small
that,
faction,
yeah.
just pissed off.
Mhm.
It'd be great.
He comes back as a ghoul.
I just want Fred Armisen back for some reason to have him show up in like a different records area in like New Vegas. Like I travel sometimes, you know. You guys want to hear? You guys want to hear piano music? It's like no, dude, get the fuck out of here. I think the last thing I'll talk about is what do you guys think of the music? Right, that fucking.
I like it.
Yeah, it's really
liked it.
It's so off-putting sometimes, dude, when you're playing like the Fallout games and you're listening like the classics as you're blowing people's heads off and shit.
Oh my god.
It is the craziest thing.
Yeah. It's kind of similar how BioShock is, which I'm interested in seeing how that turns out once they finally put that out.
So my opinion, and well, I think that's the last thing we'll talk about is like, some more video game adaptations. In my opinion, I think like The Last of Us and Fallout have shown that you don't have to make a movie, right?
I like TV shows.
You can take
Yeah.
an IP that's 10, 20 plus hours, whatever, and make it into a TV series. We do not have to like rush things with a 2-hour movie. We don't need fucking Uncharted. We don't need Tom Holland playing fucking a character that he like legitimately just doesn't even connect with. I want like a Max Payne TV series, but
Resident Evil.
Not Mark Wahlberg.
And make it
in
like full rated R.
Yeah, but not Mark Wahlberg in it, please. He was not right for the character.
Now is BioShock Prime? Is that an Amazon product or is it Paramount?
Hold on, I have to look that up. I know because like dude, have you guys seen the memes like people shitting on the Halo TV series? They're like,
should have never put that out.
They had like a follow. I can't remember. It's like a guy yelling at a kid. You see that? That's how you make a good fucking TV series.
Netflix.
I want to see like.
Netflix?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I know God of
That'll be
War
good.
is getting an adaptation. I think that's going to be on a TV series adaptation. I think it's going to be on Amazon. BioShock definitely. I mean, I'm concerned about
I think
Netflix though,
BioShock's
dude.
gonna be good.
I'm
You think
concerned.
so?
Well, the only reason I'm concerned is because Netflix adaptations are hit or miss. You know.
Yeah.
And with BioShock is like a landmark narrative title because it really had one of the best twists in video games. It's got like brilliant writing. It's got some of the best atmosphere, right? So it's like that. I can see them fucking that up if they overthink it. Technically, you don't have. I mean, just come on, just keep it straightforward, right? I don't need to get too deep into some character's backstory, bro. Just make the main character as plain as fucking possible, and just watch him kind of like
Just
become
walks
insane.
around hacking all the vending machines.
Ah, I have turrets now. Woo! You know what I want to see, Chibi? Honestly, I want to see if they can make a Persona TV series. I think they can do that because the Japanese could work that stuff out pretty
That's just
well.
Code Lyoko.
That's
All right, thank you for coming to our episode.
Holy shit, that's a deep cut, bro. Code Lyoko. Damn.
This is where we're gonna end it. Thanks for stopping by.
I was trying to think of like a cartoon with like.
They're supposed to make a Firewatch movie, Jack.
Oh,
that could be a good movie. I also think that could be a TV series too, like a limited like.
Wait, I thought that I think there is a movie.
No, it's supposed to be in development. Yeah.
Oh.
I want to see them do like Alan Wake again, or like because it's pretty much fucking mixed media, so Alan Wake would work. Control by Remedy because those guys are good writers. I think there was talk about Metal Gear Solid, but I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna fly on a TV series, bro. No, there's just so much like
sneaking.
We're gonna get 2 hours of dialogue about how fucked up the systems are, and how fucked up the political system is.
Borderlands.
I'm not. I'm just kind of skeptical of that movie, dude.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'm being cautiously optimistic, but I feel like it's in vain.
Yeah, it could be decent. I just don't see it. What's another one that could be decent?
I know they've also rumored the Legend of Zelda, and that's another one. I'm like,
so Link is gonna talk. Hey, yeah,
and also be a real person.
Inspiring.
Like, going to be.
Listen,
it's going to be a live
I think we got to get this through, right? Like, I think what they did with the Super Mario Brothers movie is fantastic, right? We don't not everything. If you know it can be an animation, just let it fucking be an animation, right?
Mm-hmm. Just have Chris Pratt voice it.
I mean, League of Legends, Arcane, fantastic show.
So good.
So fucking good.
Oh, I looked it up. Apparently, Lucy is the voice actor of
She's Jinx. Yep.
Did not know that.
Pretty cool. Yeah. No, there's a ton of.
The Hedgehog.
Both movies were pretty good. I thought they were pretty fun because they didn't take themselves.
Got Knuckles, the TV series.
They got Idris Elba, baby. Let's get it.
Mortal Kombat 2, Return to Silent Hill, Death Stranding, Street Fighter, Days Gone, Pokemon,
So,
Detective Pikachu, Stray, BioShock.
Hey, is Detective Pikachu
Space
getting?
5,
Is Detective Pikachu getting?
Detective Pikachu was a great movie.
Duke Nukem,
I did like that one.
It would be a good TV series too, by the way.
Sifu, Slime Rancher.
Oh my god, please, Brad! I'm overstimulated. I get this all day.
Slime Rancher. He just threw that. Damn.
Truck driving.
This is a list of
yes,
games.
Dude. Thief Simulator.
Stardew Valley.
Power Wash Simulator featuring Jack as the main character.
I don't give a fuck. Put me in a movie that'll pay me a good amount.
I'll do it. Let me not work for a bit.
Toe Jam and Earl.
Jesus. All right, so I think we're all in agreement. Fallout TV series is fantastic. Watch that bad boy. Dude, by the way, they were supposed to make The Division TV series like a while ago. And it's supposed to star like Jake Gyllenhaal, I think it is, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know why they.
You got Reacher and you got all those.
Yeah, they'd all work. Rainbow Six.
Just Dance.
Just Dance. Oh my god, it's fucking Step Up.
Dragon's Dogma.
Oh god, they fucking botched that
Splinter
so badly.
Cell.
Michael Ironside's too old, man. We can't go with the classics. So next week, anime. Yeah, anime. Jack's anime. Jack, what do we got, buddy?
I don't remember what the fuck it's called.
It's got skeletons, so we gonna watch that bad boy.
It got rated pretty high.
Got pretty good ratings.
I chose it.
Next Pixelated Thoughts podcast. What do you guys want to do? Should I let Brad shoot now? Because I did the Fallout TV series. Should I let Brad? I'm thinking like Brad should shoot now. So the chibi chews. I don't know.
You don't even play video games. What are you talking about?
Talk about the Fortnite. Jack, would you like to choose, my man? Is that cool?
Yeah, we can figure something out.
Because I do so cheap. I think for the after we do Jack's anime, I do kind of want to do something simple, like have us watch the first. By the time we get there, be 3 episodes of Kaiju number 8. We could talk about that because I want to know. I think Jack will love it. I really do.
Is that on Crunchy?
Yeah, the second episode, Chibi, I messaged you that sold me. I was having a good time with that. That was fun. Kind of. We'll talk about when that shit happens, man. I was laughing so hard when you brought that up, chest. All right. So, any closing thoughts by anybody? Brad? Jack?
War
Don't
never
fuck up
changes.
the second
Oh,
season.
God. Chibi?
Something where
Pour it down?
Mhm.
I guess not. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this episode. I want to thank everybody for watching. It's been Pixelated Thoughts. We'll talk to you next time, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah.